Good evening to DeFiChain News on the 28th June 2023, the news show that provides you with the latest updates on DeFiChain project. If you like the show, then let's go crazy on the like button, it helps the project, subscribe and click the bell button. And for sure, stay until the end because we will discuss the next shows and dates, and afterwards we also have some time to answer your questions, so please put them here in the chat. And again, this week Mark is traveling around Europe. The one or other saw a picture yesterday on Twitter. He is currently in Berlin. Have fun there, enjoy your trip, visit all the locations you normally are not or are normally not reachable for you, and see you soon back here on stage. Today I will more or less rock the show, and I have great topics to present here. I would say we start with the headlines, what I have prepared for today. So we will have a look, an outlook, what's coming next here on DeFiChain, and also make a small review. That's also the main title of the show. We first saw about let us make a review, maybe let us have an outlook, that's a better way. And I'm very happy that I got some information from the developer side. Then we have an update on DMZ, DeFi Meta Chain, what happened here the last week, how it's going. Notable mentions, community projects and updates are our regular points, and then, like mentioned before, the future dates. And with this, I would say we come to the main topic, review and outlook of DeFiChain 2023. So the first half year is nearly over. It's the last week in the first half year, last week in the second quarter. And yeah, we are really changing the directions. But let me describe first what happened so far in 2023. So for sure, price-wise, the performance was really poor. We saw a more or less steady decrease measured in Bitcoin, also measured in dollar. That's the very sad thing on the first half year. But on the development side, the one or other thing happened. And just to get in mind again, we launched Quantum, our bridge to Ethereum network. Now it's easy to trustless change tokens from the Ethereum blockchain to DeFi Meta Chain. Before that, it was not possible. You had to use Cake as a provider, or you just moved DeFi and have to use the DEX. Now it's possible to move funds also. We had a lot of changes around DUSD to stabilize it, to improve the situations. And if you are looking at it on a fundamental side, they are working. Price-wise, the effect was not observable, not measurable, because the DFI price decreased and compensate more or less all our measures so far. But I'm pretty sure now we are a little bit moving into the other direction, and the next feature is coming. So here a lot of things happened. I don't want to mention everything. Another thing which started this year, it feels like pretty normal now, is our on-chain governance procedure. So now you can vote as a masternode on-chain for the different proposals. Before, there was a workaround with GitHub. This new feature launched at the beginning of the year, and now it's working clockwise. So currently voting round is again running, and then next comes and next. So it's daily life on DeFiChain, more or less. We saw also several smaller updates and improvements on the product side. DeFi Scan was adapted, for example, to the on-chain governance. The Light wallet was adapted. For Quantum Bridge, a website was built. So here also a lot of things happened to make the interaction with DeFiChain easier. And then finally at April, May, our DeFi Meta Chain started to live more or less. First on the DevNet side, not accessible for us from the community, but the developers worked on it. Then the floppynet came out with several rollbacks, so really ugly for developers. And then our testnet launched without rollbacks, and it's now running. It's still in the improvement phase. I come to this back later, but that was more or less the last bigger update on DeFiChain so far. Summary from my side is we saw a lot of improvements, but not a really big fundamental update. Not like before, launch of D token system, launch of generally DEX or liquidity mining. It was working in our ecosystem, and with this we come to the outlook. 2023 will be different. There will be more or less one big event. It's the launch of mainnet DeFi Meta Chain. But I personally see the second half of the year not a single event. It's more the beginning of a longer journey to the next year or years, with lots of things happening. Sure, this one single event is DeFi Meta Chain mainnet launch, but that's just an enabler. And then we see that people are building on it. We already see it on the testnet, and they come more and more. And maybe the one or other is now asking, what is Börse Research working on? So I also had a question, and I raised it to Veer from the Börse Research team. Thanks a lot for providing the information. I think that's really good to show to the community. He presented me a picture with some explanations, so let me share it. DeFiChain 2023 roadmap. So what they have in mind, what they want to work on. 3 different categories: blockchain upgrades. So they are working on the blockchain side, they are working on the ecosystem side, and experiments, research, more the outlook. What is behind all these points? We are beginning on the left side, blockchain upgrades, DST20 token support. What is meant by this? DeFi Meta Chain will launch with the opportunity, the possibility to move DFI from our current DVM layer, DeFiChain layer, to the EVM layer, but only DFI. And the one or other ask for more tokens, for example DUSD as a D token or a DBTC. Sure, they want to implement something to support this. Today it's not clear which token can be moved, but they will work on here some functions to enable it, and then it's possible to move tokens from DeFiChain to the EVM layer and back in a very easy way. The second point in this category is state relayer. What is here the idea? If you are building on the DeFi Meta Chain and you want to access information on the base layer, currently it's not possible. So if you want to track the pool ratio, the prices of the DEX, there is no direct connection. And with the state relayer, they want to provide a kind of interface or possibility to get information out of the native data layer to the DMC layer for every builders, and this makes it easier to interact with the both layers. Foundation improvements, here the remarks were core improvements to the foundational layer on-chain, improving the overall performance and efficiency of MetaChain. So if we now increase the load to our blockchain while more and more projects are building on it, for sure they will find the one or other thing that could be improved, and here they are working on it. That's the blockchain category. Then we come to the middle section, ecosystem upgrades. Sure, MetaChain light wallet support is needed. So the idea is that in your light wallet you can transfer DFI from the current token side to the DMC EVM token layer in your light wallet in a very easy way. Currently you see this UTXO2 token or vice versa mechanism. I think it will look very similar, where you just choose the layer. Do you want to move DFI from this to that? Will enable a kind of tool for everyone to move funds. Then they are working or have in mind a developer portal. What's behind it? A comprehensive portal to provide in a centralized way all resources you need as a developer, as a builder. Means documentation, how to build tutorials, tools, facilitating you as a developer, making it easier as an onboarding and working on DeFi Meta Chain. I think that's also a running task to provide here as much information as possible, and I'm pretty sure the one or other can help here out. The rest in the middle category I just jump to the last one and then we come back. Cross-chain sharding exploration, what is here meant? It's kind of research, means what is the next step of DeFi Meta Chain, kind of experimentation into the sharding side to make a kind of groundwork to ensure scalability and cross-chain interoperability for Meta Chain. So that's the step after Meta Chain, but just as a kind of proof of concept research topic this year. And then ecosystem, yeah. So we want people to build on DeFi Meta Chain, and in the past, Birthday Research had CFPs and announced different measures, and they're just repeated here. There will be a launch pad, launch pool to easily launch your token, your project on DeFi Meta Chain. That was not a CFP. CFP was the accelerator program. I also put the link to the CFP in the show notes. If you're interested in more details, have a look. Accelerator program is to fund projects in a kind of competition. Means we have 2 rounds per year. Every round has different phases. Yeah, we start with the phase 1, and then the top projects we move into phase 2. Again, kind of time and competition. The top 10 projects then in phase 2 will get a kind of benefit, means 10,000 DFI for the top 10 projects, and they will move to phase 3. And in phase 3, they will still work on the project, improve it, make it better, to be on the one of the top 5 places. Here you can win or get 100,000 DFI and the opportunity to pitch your project to the executives of Cake DeFi, and maybe get some funding from Cake DeFi Venture Capital. That was behind this idea. So it's a steady progress. Follow-up CFPs can be raised, also mentioned in the first one, to incentivize the building. So not only you can build up your own project, your own company, here you get also a kind of incentive to build on DeFi Meta Chain. And the second point, DeFi Meta Chain Hackathon is in a kind of similar direction. A hackathon means certain time span. In this time span, everyone can build something and pitch their project. There are different categories, and in each category you can also win some DFI. I put in the link to the Reddit post. If you cannot remember it, have a look. And everyone out there thinking about, should I build on DeFi Meta Chain? Have a look. If you want to participate in one or other program, it could be worth for you to participate there. Birthday Research will update the timeline. That's not correct, because the launch of DeFi Meta Chain was postponed so far, but as soon as we have new dates, we will for sure provide them here on the channel. That's nearly all. I have another category. I called it more or less as rumors or ideas from Julian. So I watched his videos, or I'm regularly watching his videos, and sometimes he is putting out some ideas from his mind. I don't know if they really come or not, but I just want to mention them also here. The first idea was that also Birthday Research will work on the DeFi Meta Chain layer, will launch their project there. The rough idea is that their project is for helping our ecosystem, so improve the tokenomics of DFI or DUSD. Depends on the situation on DUSD. So if DUSD needs support, they will launch a token to buy it against DUSD. If DUSD is okay, it will be could be bought with DFI. Idea is that the DUSD or DUSD will be burned. You are getting a token, and with this token you can buy a place for advertisement on the product side of Privacy Research. Means on DeFiScan or on the Light Wallet, your banner of your company, your project is shown. And with this they want to help our ecosystem to be better. That was the one thing he mentioned. The other idea he mentioned was the Light Wallet in general. There are ideas to integrate further blockchains, make it not as a DeFi chain, the Light Wallets on a general kind of wallet. It's more or less a valid idea from my side, because the EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine, is now our layer on DeFi Meta Chain. If the Light Wallet supports this, you can also integrate Ethereum blockchain. And if you integrate more and more blockchains, we increase the utility of the Light Wallet, the range, more people will come into contact with DeFi chain. So looking forward, if the things are true, if Privacy Research is working on it, in general a lot of things will happen in 2023. DeFi Meta Chain launch on the mainnet is just the starting point of our journey to a complete new ecosystem. Pretty sure a lot of things will happen there. With this, we switch the topic to DeFi Meta Chain, to the updates, more to the now, what happened. Yes, the developers are still working on it, still improving the testnet, really working hard to solve bugs, to improve the whole situation. And I also got feedback from the developers. I think Prasanna made this picture and showed us how is our journey from the testnet to the mainnet. It's not just switching the one to the other, it's a kind of phase. So we had the phase 1, it was a base EVM layer, it was a stable testnet without the rollbacks of the floppy net. Then we reached phase 2. We are currently in the beta 4 version of the node software. I come to it later. They had several bug fixes, improvements, so fee ordering, non-consensus upgrades. They also now integrate this DUSD loop feature. It can be tested on the testnet then. They worked also on the ICX enablement. That was the atomic swap. Nonce related fixes. There was an issue with MetaMask and precompiled contracts. More or less finished. Everything integrated in the current version beta 4. And now we are moving to the last phase, phase 3. Further consensus upgrades, preparation for the hard fork so that we really can switch over. And they start to work on DST token support and some further API improvements. Looking forward it. Here 2 weeks is mentioned, or greater than 2 weeks, so it will need some time to reach the mainnet launch, but we are still on track. Have a look on DeFiChain.com, Meta Chain section. There you see the roadmap. The launch was planned end of June, beginning of July, with some buffer till end of July. And in this time frame, we are currently on track. Then I mentioned it before, we had some updates on the node software. So we started with one software, then we had the beta 2 version last week. Didn't work. Beta 3 was provided on Wednesday, I think. Hard fork was in the night. And since then, beta 3 version worked stable on the testnet. And beginning this week, they provided the beta 4 version. So if you are running a node software with the DeFi Meta Chain support, have a look there, update it. If you are interested what's happening in detail, I put in the link to the beta 4 version. There are the release note with all the things integrated into it. I will not mention it here. It's too much, honestly speaking, what I'm working on. And besides the developers, we have the community. Community is still heavily testing our testnet for DeFi Meta Chain. I had a look on the test explorer of my DeFi chain. So we have daily 500 to 700 transactions overall, nearly or around about 9,000 transactions already on this EVM blockchain. Roughly 1,500 addresses are there available, means are holding a fund, getting it from the faucet during the swap or whatever. So people are using this testnet, giving a feedback, helping to improve the overall situation. And that's also possible, or only possible, because of the projects. I provided you in the show notes again the overview of the DeFi Meta Chain projects. Have a look if you are interested in. And what I want to show or explain here today is the second project launched during this week. OpenDApps Cloud launched their service. Their service is to generate or create a decentralized company with its own token in a very easy way. So on the website, you can try it out with the testnet DFI. Just check it. Kygi did it, I did it, and many others. I think over 20 people tried it out. There's also a thread, link is in the show notes. They also published the article, Decentralized Companies in OpenDApps Cloud, an overview. So what is the idea behind, if you are interested in this topic? Yeah, people are trying it out and giving feedback to them. So the developers are more or less overwhelmed by the feedback and decided to launch their service on DeFi Meta Chain as the first mainnet. If you have a look on their website, there are different blockchains they are currently trying out. And because of our community, because of the interaction with it, they decided, let us do the first step on a mainnet on DeFi Meta Chain. Thanks to everyone to help here testing, giving them a feedback. We are really a great community. And this feeling, I am pretty sure, has also Vanilla Swap. Yeah, they deployed their service last week. I mentioned it before. It's a decentralized exchange on the DeFi Meta Chain layer. Currently over 600 people are holding this vanilla token, means they have tried out the DEX. Over 600, or addresses is the better explanation, but everyone using MetaMask has more or less one address, so I would map one address to one person. So hundreds of people are using it, trying out, test it, give them updates, and they are continuously also working on the project. And they directly interact with the OpenDApps Cloud team. So if you launch your own company with your own token, it's easily possible to launch this token in a trading pair with, for example, DFI on Vanilla Swap. Yeah, they interact in the background to provide the service on the website of OpenDApps Cloud, directly launch it on Vanilla Swap. Really great to see here that community projects want to provide the best service for the user they can do, and if an interaction is needed, collaboration is needed, they are doing it well done. Last project on DeFi Meta Chain I want to mention is the very, very simple and old smart contract from Kygi. Winner takes it all. If you want to play around with, Krish created a web interface now on the Vault Maxi site. Link to the tweet is in the show notes. And now everyone with a MetaMask can easily interact with this very, very simple smart contract to just see how does a smart contract work on such an EVM layer. A lot of things are happening around DeFi Meta Chain. Really happy and looking forward what we can present here next week. Pretty sure something will happen. With this, we come to our regular points of the notable mentions. One point I want to mention again, it was also provided via Telegram announcement channel. There is a Reddit, very short Reddit article about DeFi Meta Chain. Why is our architecture so special and will revolutionize the blockchain industry, more or less, because of the two layers, EVM, an own blockchain integrated in our UTXO model. For the user, it looks like two blockchains, but it's just one. Have a look if you are interested in the technique behind to understand it better. What is so special on our second layer? Because the wording second layer is used very widely in the space. Last topic before we come to the future dates: community projects and updates. Regular guest every week in the market. A newsletter from Paddy. Another edition was released. The topics for this week are the DeFi Meta Chain dashboard I provide. So if you want to learn more about the projects, have a look there. DeFiChain architecture, again, the topic I mentioned before, in another way summarized. If you want to learn about it, check it out. DeFi Meta Chain indices by BTC Bacon. And the last point is the OpenD apps project with the version 1.0.2 beta version. Check it out if you want to have some background information. Second project for today, DeFiChain Data. It's an old or new project. No, it's an old project, but it was now announced again that they are working on it. If you are a trader, if you are looking on charts, if you are familiar with TradingView, maybe you missed some tool in this way to have a look on our DeFiChain DEX. And now this engine is used to provide data from our DeFiChain DEX. Not only the prices, also volume, the RPR rate or the liquidity can be provided as a graph with different key figures. If you are a trader, check it out. Really interesting. Link to the tweet is in the show notes. Last project, WaltMaxi also tweeted that they are working on a new thing on their website, on their service. They want to build a vault simulator. So if you ever had the idea to create a vault, but you don't know how it works and if it is critical or not, then you can use in future this vault simulator. Check out some key figures, try it out. They planned different features. Yeah, you can also import a vault via the vault ID, so existing one. Then you can change something, liquidations levels, define your own prices per token. What does it mean if now my collateral in BTC drops or whatever? Check it out if it is launched. I will mention it here, but here also they are working in the background to provide new things for our ecosystem. With this very long news show, a lot of things ahead, a lot of things happened. We come to the future days. Join again news show next week here on the channel to have or to get the latest updates. And I'm still in the clarification phase for the Tech Talk date. Last week I couldn't reach out Prasanna, I was really busy, but it's still in mind, and we try to do it before or around the mainnet launch to provide you with the information from the background, from the developers, more detail in the techniques about DeFi Meta Chain. With this, thanks for joining here live. Today we have the one or other. If you are here live, stay until a short break. I have some time left to answer the one or other questions. Please give us a like if you're not watching live. Thanks for watching. I hope the information I provide to you helps it. We, Lord Mark and me, are doing this show more or less for you. For sure, we also have some fun to do it, but it shows you what's in our ecosystem that you can stay up to date. With this, have a great time. Have a look on testnet, DeFi Meta Chain, and see you soon on this channel. Next week, DeFiChain News Show. Bye bye. So here we are. Who is on stage? Honsan is on stage. Yes, it finally works. Your comments, your posts in the chat are visible for me. We had a hiccup. I was in contact with him. And there was a filter or something else, so that his chats are not visible or were not visible. Christian Patterson is again here. Thanks for joining in again here in English. Then we have the first question from Christoph Müller. Any news on the Loop DUSD walls? I mentioned it before, some words again. It's currently integrated in the latest Node software version for the testnet. So now it can be enabled on the testnet. Kygi is in contact with the developers. They try it out, so they will try to enable it on the testnet and will check if really everything is working. That was the pull request from Kygi to make it possible. If it is tested, then in January this feature will be available also on the mainnet after the hard fork. So we first need the same update then on DeFi Meta Chain, and then we have to look when it's really enabled and when it is possible. Yeah, we have to see. I will inform you if a date is or a blockade is fixed. Then question, will you meet Mark for the first time now that he's in Germany? Sorry, no, it's not possible. I'm currently very busy at work, and the distance between Stuttgart and Berlin is too far to make a short trip. So by car, impossible. You drive the whole day more or less. Flight would be better, but I don't have the time. So we will miss it again. Very, very sad, honestly speaking. But the time will come that we meet for sure. Good. Then Expedition to Freedom. Hello, and thanks for your effort. You're welcome. Then Noxana Mzibi is also a regular guest here. Good evening, DeFiChain family. That's more or less answered. Yeah, currently only available on testnet. Will be activated and then later to the mainnet. Question: who has swapped some token to PIF-O token on VanillaSwap? I don't know, but more and more tokens are coming to the testnet, and one or other is swapping. I lost the overview who is really swapping into which direction, but personally I'm really happy that the people are using it. And sometimes I see there are one or other issue, for example in the Telegram channel, the developers on the project having a look on it and are fixing it. So if you are using the one or other project, check out my overview. There's a category social media channels. The one or other project already has the Telegram channel, OpenDApps Cloud for sure, and VanillaSwap. And if you have an issue, if you have questions, go there and ask. The channels are currently pretty small, but I'm very sure that they will grow. Also follow them on Twitter. They are really active. They need some followers to get more attention. If you are on Twitter, follow them and support them. Would be very, very nice. Yeah, that's all questions. Super, thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Then, happy that I saw the one or other question today. I like this interaction with you. I currently have also in mind that we do a Q&A session again. I have to ask Kygi. Kygi, if you are watching English version, I come to you. But I would wait after DeFi Meta Chain mainnet launch, because then more and more questions will come up, giving you the opportunity to raise question in advance, and then we make a show and try to answer all of them to help you understanding what's happening around DeFiChain. With this, thanks for joining the show today. See you soon here on the channel. Have a great time. Check out DeFi Meta Chain, and with this, have a nice evening. Bye bye.